Hey everyone, it's Michelle, your CXC Biology Tutor. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm back on camera again. And joining me this time is my husband, Kevin.
Hi everyone.
He has agreed to join me on camera for just a little fun. So what I'm going to do in this video is that I'm going to test him on some common, basic biological terms and diagrams just to see how much he may know about biology. After all, he's married to a biology tutor. So if you're interested in seeing how well he does on my quiz, keep watching. Alright, so let's begin. So in the first round, I'm going to call a word, a biological term, and he's going to tell me what he thinks the word means. So whatever comes to mind, you tell me what it means. Alright, so let's get going. So if you really don't know what the word means, you can just say pass. And I'll give you the definition.
Here we
Ready?
go.
Got your thinking cap on?
Yes, it is. Let's go, folks.
Okay, first word, respiration.
Respiration. I think about breathing.
Okay, you're on the right track. That's all? Actually, that's a common misconception when people think of the word respiration. So respiration is actually the release of energy from the breakdown of food. But breathing is involved. So you need to breathe in, the air, and that air, the oxygen, will break down the food to release energy. So you're on the right track. So I'll give you a little tip for that.
You get half mark.
Next word, excretion.
Oh, this is easy. Excretion. I think about something we do or we should do regularly.
Well, it's something that's done regularly enough.
We let out our waste, our bodily waste.
All right.
And that mainly comes from when we eat. Obviously, if we're not eating much, you don't have much to.
Okay, so I think you're getting mixed up with defecation or egestion. But you're kind of on the right track. It is removal of waste, but a special type of waste, metabolic waste. So this is waste that is produced from metabolic reactions in the body, chemical reactions in the body. So, another half mark, but it is removal of waste. Alright, so the next word, photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. If I remember correctly, this is about the sun and planets. I think it's a combination of the partnership between the sun and the planets. I think it's how the plants need the sun to survive. I think it's somewhere around those lines.
He's on the right track. So photosynthesis, this is how plants use the sunlight energy along with water, carbon dioxide to make food.
Right.
So that is what photosynthesis is. Alright, let's look at the next one, gamete.
Gamete.
Have you ever heard of that word, gamete?
This is a difficult one. I'm not quite sure. Gamete.
So you're passing?
Should I pass? I think I'm gonna have to pass that one.
Alright, so a gamete is a reproductive cell. In the males, it is the sperm. In the females, it is the egg or the ovum. Got it? Alright,
right,
next
so
word.
Has something to do with reproduction.
Yep. So the next word, osmosis.
Osmosis.
So what comes to mind when you hear the term osmosis?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and probably say something is being reproduced. Is something about maybe I'm not sure if it's a cell or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass this one. This is like
Yeah.
this is like gamete. This is
You're
the
on the
hard
wrong
one.
track.
Yeah.
So osmosis is the movement of water molecules from a region where there's a lot of water to a region where there's less water.
Something just came to me.
A
Something
semi-permeable
about
membrane.
that's more like chemistry now. I was thinking of something going from a high level of concentration to
right?
a low concentration.
Right, that's what it means. So where there's more water, a high concentration
Right, so remember
of water,
something.
to a low concentration of water across the semi-permeable membrane. Can't forget that, students. Across the semi-permeable
so many
membrane.
big words for me.
Oh boy.
Mind you folks, I haven't done biology since I was about 14. So just bear
So the third form?
Bear that in mind.
Alright, next word. Enzyme.
Enzyme. I think this has to do with food. This is something that this is a food particle or something involving. Does it have to do with like bread too? Like yeast and you said enzymes, right?
Yeah.
Enzymes, I'm not sure. I was thinking something to do with food.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's the production of food or if it's the...
Okay, so when we eat food, what happens?
We digest.
Okay, so enzymes help in digestion.
To digestion. Oh, right.
But generally speaking, so that would be specific to digestive enzymes. So enzymes are biological catalysts, meaning that they speed up chemical reactions going on in our cells. So he talked about food. So enzymes, digestive enzymes would be the ones that actually help speed up the breakdown of the food we eat. So you still had an idea that it has something to do with
right, so enzymes help break down the food.
Yes. It's also involved in other chemical reactions in the body. Alright. Cornea.
Cornea, this is definitely a part of the eye.
Alright.
Definitely.
Yes, so it is that transparent layer at the front of the eye that helps to bend the light rays as it's entering the eye. Alright, good one. Alright, let's see. Pollination.
Pollination. This sounds like something that involves bees and plants.
Alright.
Honey.
Okay, so what any more you want to add to that?
Pollination. I think this is where the bees probably feed on the plant.
Well, technically...
Do they take from the plant and then... Or they...
Okay, so the bees will be involved.
Right.
They might be going to the plant, the flower, to actually get the food,
the nutrients,
nectar
to
make their honey. And in the process, what happens is that the bee might brush past the pollen on the flower, and then that pollen is picked up on the bee's body and then be transferred to the stigma of the same flower or another flower.
Right, I remember stigma being part of the flower.
Right. So it is the preceding part of reproduction in plants. Okay. So pollination needs to occur for flowering plants to reproduce.
Okay, got it.
Alright, so you were on the right track once again. Alright, next word.
So another half mark.
Well, I guess. Alright, so ovulation.
Ovulation. Okay, this definitely has something to do with pregnancy. Definitely have something to do with the female reproductive system. Obviously, at a certain time of the month is when females get their, let's say, their sexual tensions are heightened, are higher level.
That's so much true. The hormones and
the hormones are a higher level than normal, which entails gives you a higher chance of becoming pregnant.
Okay, so let's pause there. So ovulation is what actually happens in the process of ovulation.
I think this is where the sperm meets the egg.
Actually, not yet.
Not yet, not quite yet.
Something has to happen before the sperm reaches the egg. Where does the egg come from?
The egg comes from the ovaries. Right.
So ovulation is the release of the egg
from the ovaries.
The ovaries.
Right.
So then, once the egg is released, and if there's a sperm,
fertilization takes place.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
So you're on the right track again.
Getting there slowly but surely.
Alright, so moving on from ovulation. Next word, neuron.
Neuron, okay. If I remember correctly from my physiological psychology, a neuron has to do with the brain. Is it part of the brain? Along with, when I think neuron, I think of something that controls the brain. Is it kind of the central nervous system?
Part of that?
Part of that which controls the brain.
Okay, good. So a neuron is a specialized cell, a nerve cell technically.
Right.
So it is responsible for sending electrical messages throughout the body. So as he said, it's part of the nervous system.
Central nervous system.
Not only the central nervous system,
but
brain.
The entire nervous system.
Right. So the brain and the spinal cord are part of the central nervous system. But then you also have the nerves branching from the brain and the spinal cord. So neurons you'll find throughout the nervous system. So yes, neurons are specialized nerve cells. They're nerve cells, which are specialized cells. So, alright.
That was a very hard course, by the way. It's physiological psychology. A mixture of psychology and biology. My major was psychology. So the biological aspect of it, I was like a fish out of water.
Well, you should have known me then and I would have helped you out. Alright, let's go on to the next word. Valves. V-A-L-V-E-S.
Valves. Well, from what I can remember, the heart has valves.
Alright. So you're correct.
Right.
So there are special flaps that you will find separating the chambers and the arteries within the heart to prevent backflow. You don't want the blood coming in and then going back where it came from. So valves are like little doors to help prevent the blood from flowing back.
Right, so basically the valves are there like tubes that help with the blood flow.
Well, not tubes. Think of it as like flaps.
Okay, right.
So like flaps.
But they help with the ease
that will open up and close as the blood is going
basically
through.
Give it ease of access.
Well, the main thing is to prevent the blood from going back where it came from. So like when the blood comes in, it closes so it doesn't go back where it came from. So think of these like little flaps. You can see it on the camera how I'm doing my hands. But anyways, alright, so that one is right. Incisor.
Incisor. This sounds like one of the types of teeth we have.
Which one?
Is this the one responsible for tearing food?
Not tearing, but... So it's a type of tooth.
Right, for sure.
So not the one that tears, but...
The one that... tearing.
Okay, show me your...
So I know the canines are...
The canines are the ones for tearing.
More for tearing, so that means the incisors more for like...
The incisors are your front teeth. The ones that will cut in or bite into the food that you're eating. Like biting into an apple, which I don't do. Like biting into an apple, you know.
Mind you, as she said, now she mentioned apple, you would have, if for those who watched the previous video, she cannot eat a whole apple. She has to cut it in pieces.
Right. So I don't really like to sink my teeth down in a whole apple.
So
anyways,
she doesn't use her incisors.
Anyways, so you knew what incisor was in terms of being a tooth. Next word, plasma.
Plasma. This sounds a little difficult. Plasma. Is not part of a plant.
No, not part of a plant.
It is not a cell.
Nope.
Well, if it's not a plant, if it's not a cell, you definitely have to pass that one.
Alright, plasma is the yellow fluid that makes up the blood. So it's the liquid portion of the blood. So it would transport a lot of different materials. So nutrients like water, you have blood clotting factors, hormones, all those different things would be traveling in the plasma of the blood. Alright, so
all of those things basically get a free ride on the plasma.
But you gotta remember the blood is the transport medium in the body. So the blood is made up of cells along with plasma.
You said transport medium, is the main transport system, basically.
Right, it's a fluid that would transport
Right.
oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body. So the plasma is responsible for transporting a lot of different nutrients. The water, for instance, it mostly will contain water. After all, it's a fluid, along with other nutrients. You have hormones, antibodies. All those things will be transported within the plasma. So you also have red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. Those are the actual cellular components of the blood. So plasma is just the fluid part. So it's actually like a yellowish color. So if you had to separate the blood, the cells from the fluid, you will see that the fluid is actually
different color,
right? The yellowish color.
Right.
It's the red blood cells that really makes the blood red. So right, so that's just a little side note there. Next word, epidermis.
Epidermis.
So this one actually have two meanings in biology, but let's see which one.
Epidermis. If I try to think back, way back from my biology days, epidermis, is this like an outer skin? A skin or...
All right.
I can't remember. I try to remember which part of it is...
Well, you pretty much said it.
It's basically
the uppermost layer of your skin.
The skin, right. So it's the outer layer of the skin, basically.
Right, the uppermost layer of the skin. The skin will have the three layers. You have the epidermis, then underneath is the dermis,
right.
Then you have the hypodermis, or the subcutaneous layer. So, yes.
Oh, and from what I remember, sub. Always look at the word sub means under.
Below and under,
so,
right.
So subcutaneous means that's under skin. So that's how I used to remember things back at school. I used to break them down into
well, that's what you need to do, especially with biology, because some of the words, you have to really look at the words, and they will have certain prefixes or suffixes, and they mean certain things. So as you said, sub means under or below. So the subcutaneous layer is the most, the bottommost layer of the skin. All right. So thanks for that. That additional educational tip. Next word. Vertebrae.
Vertebrae. I immediately think of the part of our bodies, the back. Is it how we have a spine?
All right.
It's like the spine.
You got it. So
right.
The vertebrae, so those are the bones of the spine, which is commonly known as the backbone.
Backbone, right.
Right. All right. All right. The next word is femur. Femur.
Femur. Oh, this is a hard one. I can't remember ever hearing about this word. Femur.
Because you never heard it before.
I am going to make a wild guess and say, is it part of the brain? I don't know.
Definitely not part of the brain.
But it's part of the body for sure.
Well, yeah, all of these are pretty much part of the body. Okay, so the femur is a bone. It's actually the longest bone in the skeleton. So it's actually our thigh bone. So our upper leg bone. So that's your femur.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. Femur.
Femur. So the thigh bone. Okay, next word, cerebrum. Cerebrum.
Cerebrum. Let's see. Is this another bone?
No, not another bone.
Is it part of the brain?
Aha, it's part of the brain.
It sounds like part of the brain, for sure.
Okay, so it's part of the brain. So it's actually the largest surface area of the brain that controls lots of different actions. So motor functions, our sensory functions, thinking, emotion. So the cerebrum is pretty much what controls us as
it almost like the
human.
Central processing of the brain, basically.
Well, pretty much, because it controls, as I said, it
does
controls the majority
multiple,
of the different functions of the body. So the cerebrum. All right. Retina.
The retina. part of the eye for sure. Definitely
Right.
part of the eye.
So this is the part of the eye which consists of the light sensitive cells or the light receptors, also known as photoreceptors. So these receive the light that enters the eye, and then the cells are going to convert them to nervous impulses and send them to the brain.
So, I have a question for you.
Oh boy.
So, what part of the eye determines how we view things in terms of color? In terms of, if we they say that animals see things in black and white.
It's the retina.
It's
The retina, right.
So the retina is...
Because the retina has cone cells and rod cells.
So that's...
They allow us to see, the cone cells allow us to see in color. So they will be activated like during the day, where obviously with more light you can see color better. At night, the rod cells will be more activated because there's not much light. So you can only make out like black and white, grays, those kind of tones. So you don't really see color very well in the dark. So the rod cells of the retina will be activated during the night.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
So moving on to urethra.
Urethra. This is definitely part of the female body. Is it?
Well, it's part of the female body, not only the female body.
Oh, well, I was thinking, okay.
Urethra. Oh, I think I know where you're getting mixed up.
Yeah. But is this the passageway through which urine comes?
You got it.
Right, so I knew.
So it's present in both males and
female,
females.
right. But
just technically in slightly different locations of the body.
So
yes.
It's responsible for the flow of urine.
Flow of urine, the tool which urine would pass through and exit the body.
Okay. Got it.
Alright, so the last one, anemia. Anemia. A-N-A-E-M-I-A. Sometimes it's spelled A-N-E-M-I-A. I guess it's the American way. Anemia.
I might not know exactly what this is, but I know what is related to. It may be related to how we, in terms of weight fluctuations, or in terms of, you might say somebody's anemic, which means that they're not, something is going wrong with their, how they eat or how they digest.
Not quite.
Something.
Okay, maybe when you say how they eat, because it's actually a deficiency disease.
Right.
A deficiency disease lacking in a certain nutrient, iron.
Iron, right. So
iron is needed to build the blood, the red blood cells. So anemia is the deficiency disease in which an individual
lack of iron.
Right. There's a lack of iron, so it is not. The body isn't going to be producing as much red blood cells as it should. Because iron is needed to make hemoglobin. You know what hemoglobin is?
I know that it's in feroglobin.
Feroglobin helps to build the hemoglobin and the red blood cells.
So I know they were connected.
Right, because feroglobin is rich in iron, and vitamin B. So hemoglobin is the red pigment that causes the red blood cells to be red. And is what is going to attract the oxygen. Because remember, red blood cells are there to transport oxygen. So iron is needed to build hemoglobin.
So which blood cells fight off viruses?
White blood cells.
The white blood cells.
So those are the fighters, part of the immune system.
So the white blood cells are the fighters, and the red ones are the transporters.
Right, they transport the oxygen around the body. So hemoglobin is needed for that, because the hemoglobin binds to the oxygen to transport the oxygen around the body. So someone who's anemic would often feel very tired and weak because they're not getting enough oxygen transported. So less oxygen leads to less energy being produced. Alright, so we are finished with the terms. Now let's see if we can identify some simple diagrams, parts of the body.
I really hope they're simple.
Alright, so the first one.
This is a tooth.
Alright, it's a tooth. Ding! Diagram number 2.
This looks like, is this something to do with hair molecules or?
Okay, so you're seeing hair. And where is the hair coming from? So it's a diagram
of
the
epidermis or one of the.
Okay,
one of
the epidermis is part of the
skin.
Right, so it's the skin.
Right.
All right.
The one layers of the skin.
All right. So next diagram.
Okay, this looks like in between heart and lungs. I don't know why, but it looks more like a heart.
All right, it's the heart.
Definitely a heart. Yeah.
It's the heart. All right.
This looks very familiar. This looks like is this the vagina?
Yes, the vagina is there. But what is the overall structure known as? Okay, where would you find it in the body?
The uterus. Is it?
Okay,
No.
the uterus is there.
Is there as well?
So the entire thing is known as the... So what are these parts needed for? If you had to describe the whole system. So you find it in the females.
I'm pulling a blank here.
You know what these two parts are?
Oh, they're the ovaries?
Right, so you have the ovaries, so you
Right,
know
so
the parts, so
right,
therefore
I'm seeing
it's
the ovaries, I'm seeing the uterus, I'm seeing the vagina.
right, so it's the female reproductive system.
Right.
That's what I was looking for. The overall thing is showing you the female reproductive system.
So again, half mark maybe.
Well, you did pretty good in pointing out the parts. You didn't name it
overall
as
system
the
is what you want.
female
Right.
reproductive system. All right, next one. This might be a little challenging. Look at it here.
Kidneys.
All right.
Yep. Definitely the kidneys. So that's a full mark for sure.
So yes, 2 kidneys. You know what kidneys are for?
Do they help in terms of blood flow?
They do something to the blood.
They help pump the blood to the body, or
No, that's the heart.
right. They have something to do with blood for sure.
Okay, so the kidneys filter the blood, purify
okay.
the blood, clean up, get rid of the waste. So when we talk about excretion, so
right.
the kidneys are...
So the kidneys function in that way.
Right, so they are excretory organs. So help filter out any waste that need to be removed, so it comes out in the urine.
So if you have one
They
kidney,
produce urine.
if you only have one kidney, you cannot excrete as much waste.
Right, it's going to be a little more pressure on that one kidney to function to...
And that would affect the body.
So you can survive with one kidney, but obviously that one kidney
is not ideal.
Is now having...
To overwork.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this a dendrite?
They're dendrites.
Right. I know they're dendrites somewhere around here. Axon?
You're calling the parts, but what is the overall structure called?
The central nervous system or the...
Now, we talked about it earlier. It was one of the terms that we talked about earlier.
The spinal cord? No.
Found in the brain. In
the cerebrum? No, it's not the cerebrum.
So you said the dendrites.
I see dendrites and the axons there for sure.
So this structure is known as a...
Does it start with
It
G?
begins with N.
N? The neuron.
Right, that's a neuron.
Right.
So this
I said these are like dendrites, and then when I saw the long share, I say it looked like axons.
That long is the axon.
The axon, right.
Right. So you said you would have learned this in physiological psychology. So yes, this is the neuron, a motor neuron specifically.
This is an eye for sure.
Correct.
This is an eye. Yeah.
That's the eye. All right. So the retina is at the back of the eye that we talked about earlier. So find the retina at the back of the eye.
Are those the lungs?
Correct. Lungs for breathing. Tom, you know this one.
Okay.
So look at it carefully. The diagram is a little different to what you would normally see.
Yes.
So there's missing some,
it looks.
some parts, but you're seeing
It looks like a part of the sexual reproductive system.
Which one?
But I'm trying to figure out which one.
Well, we already did the...
So this has to be
What was that?
This has to be the male
the male
reproductive system.
reproductive system. So what are these two things?
This looks like an egg.
It does. It surely does look like an egg, but
it's not.
It's
It
not an
can't
egg.
be an egg.
It's not an egg. It is a testes.
Testes, and this is
Or
scrotum.
what was coming as the testicles. So the
Testicles.
scrotum
The scrotum is the
houses
right.
the testicles. But you're not seeing the scrotum here in this particular diagram.
Right.
So that may have, thrown you off a bit.
Yeah, it looked a
See the
little
penis
weird
for
at
sure.
first, but I was saying, it more likely has to be some type of sexual reproductive system for sure.
Right, so we have the male, so we did the female one. Alright. So there's actually a few organs shown here.
Are the arteries here? No. Right?
No.
You said there are a few here.
I can see 3 different organs. Sorry, 4.
Is lungs one?
Nope. We did the lungs already.
We did lungs, we did kidneys. Is this the somewhere along the stomach line? Because we haven't done anywhere in the stomach yet.
Okay, so it's part of the
So,
digestive system. These
is
organs are part of the
Is
digestive
the
system.
esophagus here?
No, not in this.
Okay.
In this one.
So it's the digestive system for sure.
So this large, this is actually the largest internal organ in the body. I figured this one would be a little, a little challenging.
Is the stomach
No, not the
part
stomach.
of this? Is part of this? Is not like a sac.
No, it's not the stomach. The
It's not
stomach
the
isn't shown here in this particular diagram. Okay, so this is the liver.
Oh.
We have the pancreas. And we have part here of the small intestine. And then the green structure is
this diagram.
gallbladder.
This for sure look a little confusing. It looks,
Yeah, so it's part of it. Those are organs of the digestive system. All right, so you didn't do too bad in my biology quiz. So you still know a little something.
a little something, a little something.
So thanks for joining me in this video and playing along, having some fun. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video with me testing my husband on biological.
Hopefully I got at least 70%.
Well.
Well, I probably passed at least.
Oh boy.
Probably passed at least.
Anyways, well, thank you all for tuning in and watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye everyone.